Stories like this do not get enough attention, but luckily you're watching The Working Man. As I said in my quick intro, stories like this do not get enough attention, all right? Now, there's a story that I might review in the coming days, and it happened during Super Bowl weekend. There was a gentleman, he was a sports reporter down in Louisiana that was going to report the Super Bowl, that was going to cover the Super Bowl. And he befriended this woman to, I guess, have a good time with her. And come to find out that, well, later on that day, he disappeared. And this woman, she was going around in Louisiana drugging men and taking their money. And what I assume is this man, she gave him too much drugs, he overdosed, and well, he's no longer here with us on Earth. And now I believe she's either on the run or has been captured. I'll probably do a story on that later on because it's old, but it also deserves some light. Well, in the same vein, as you see here from CBS News, and shout out to one of my esteemed brother, my best friend, he sent me this and I wanted to cover it because, again, I believe it deserves some shine. You can see here from CBS News, Las Vegas woman accused of drugging, defrauding older men in a deadly romance scheme. Let me get the cops music. Hold on. Yeah, this deserves some shine. Because this is happening all over America and all over the world, really. And we all understand that women have to do this because they can't just, well, most of them anyway, can't just straight up, rob a man face to face. So they have to seduce them and lure them to where they're vulnerable and weak. But what happens is they go overboard if they do too much, or they involve other people in their schemes that are also as hungry and greedy as they are. And then people come up missing, or again, we're having funerals for men. So before we get into it, I want to play this video from CBS this morning. I will leave a link to this article in the description box. I will read the article, but I want to play the video first. You get the context of what's going on, and I'll probably explain it better than the article I'm going to read. So before we get to it, fair use.
The FBI is looking for more alleged victims of a Las Vegas woman it says was involved in a deadly romance scam. The suspect is accused of defrauding older men and causing the death of at least one of them. She's under arrest in Mexico, and U.S. officials want her returned for trial.
Now, I don't know if we can we can file this under JUCO gone wrong.
Enemy spotted.
Shout out to CGA, but she's luring men, and this happens with women too. I've seen times where these Nigerian scammers, they try to get these women, they lure them with love and all this kind of stuff because they want affection, they're over the hill, and they somehow end up getting these women to give up large sums of money, and then they get ghosted. Still like that. So I know it happens on both ends, all right, but we're not talking about the women, so y'all can fall back. We're talking about the men here. This is foul. Let's continue.
Gutierrez has more.
This is a romance scam on steroids.
On Friday, federal authorities in Nevada revealed a years-long investigation into an international and deadly romance scam. In an unsealed indictment, the Justice Department charged 43-year-old Aurora Phelps with scamming 4 older men. Between 2021 and 2022, Phelps allegedly used...
Between 2021 and 2022, you see her. I believe this is a real, screenshot of her. It looks like Tinder profile. Sissy 42. It looks like the language is in maybe Spanish or some other type of foreign language, okay, that I don't understand. But yeah, luring these older men, taking their cash, and you'll find that I believe 2 men are presumed deleted and 1 man is missing.
Aliases like Sissy and Laura on dating sites like Tinder and OkCupid to lure her victims. After meeting them in person, feds say she would hit their bank accounts and go on shopping sprees.
Some of them were lonely, looking for companionship. Most of them were, elderly, single men. She befriended them. In many cases, she went on multiple dates with them.
The 21 counts against Phelps include bank fraud, identity theft, and kidnapping. The FBI said one of the 4 victims was put in a coma after Phelps drugged him, and that the other 3 died after meeting Phelps. She's charged in one of their deaths.
Now, what I suspect happened was the same thing that happened in the Louisiana case. 1 victim's in a coma, 3 victims are no longer with us. Now, she was drugging these individuals, and she probably overdosed them on whatever narcotic she was giving them to lower their defenses. And again, just like in the case in Louisiana, she gave them too much, and well, she doesn't care because she's on to the next guy. Multiple dates, she's lowering their defenses emotionally, mentally, and then she drugs them physically once she's gotten them in a comfortable spot. And here we are.
We believe Phelps kidnapped one of these victims by heavily sedating him and pushing him across the U.S.-Mexico border in a wheelchair. Phelps then took him to a hotel room in Mexico City, where the victim was found dead a few hours later.
The FBI also claims there are more possible victims of Phelps' scam in the U.S. and Mexico, both male and female, and dating back to 2019.
So she also possibly has female victims as well. It's 2025. Victims all the way back to 2019, 6-7 years worth of scamming and nefarious activity leading all the way up to and including deleting other victims, in this case, men.
Convicted on all counts, she could spend the rest of her life in prison. CBS Mornings, I'm Andres Gutierrez in Las Vegas.
As she should spend the rest of her life in prison if she gets convicted.
Fatality.
She should spend the rest of her life in prison if she gets convicted. All right. As you see here, the FBI is looking for more possible victims of Aurora Phelps, a woman indicted in Nevada for allegedly, hold on, let me get rid of fair use, for luring several men on dating apps to Mexico, drugging them and stealing their financial information. Here's some of her aliases. According to court documents filed on October 2023, 43-year-old Phelps, who is also known as Aurora Flores, Aurora Velasco, and Aurora Alvarez, is linked to at least 2 deletions and 1 disappearance. She is accused of befriending older men she met in person or online and gaining access to their bank, social security, or retirement accounts by sometimes drugging them. It looks like all the time drugging them. All right. And of course, I won't read the rest of this because the video speaks for itself. Okay. But I would say that if you are watching this video and you are a victim, please contact your local law enforcement or the FBI and let them know that you are a victim of this woman, so we can get all the information together to get her ass put in prison.
Enemy spotted.
All right. According to a 21 counts of superseding indictment, Phelps allegedly met one victim online through a dating service. She attempted to persuade him to travel to Mexico. In 2021, Phelps met him at his house where they ordered lunch for delivery, and she allegedly caused him to consume a prescription drug without his knowledge and consent. The indictment read she then allegedly left the elderly man mostly unconscious for the next 5 or so days, stealing his iPhone, iPad, driver's license, and bank cards, and using the information to sell his Apple stock worth approximately $3.3 million on E-Trade. However, she was unable to remove the money from his account. The indictment said she had this man unconscious, pretty much torturing him, I guess, for the next 5 or 6 days while stealing all of his devices and his information and trying to steal all his stock, steal all of his money. Wow. See here. In 2022, Phelps met another elderly man online. This man then met Phelps in person at a Las Vegas restaurant, watch out CGA, where she allegedly gave him medication and other substances that caused him to become lethargic and confused. She is again accused of gaining access to the man's financial accounts using his American Express card, influencing him to fly him with her to Mexico City, and using his Wells Fargo card to rent a hotel room. Several days later, Phelps returned to the U.S. without the second victim, who had deleted in the hotel, prosecutors alleged. Wow. Man. This woman is evil, diabolical. Y'all see it? There's a picture right there. If you see her in the streets, Make sure that you call the police immediately. Do not try to apprehend this individual. Get her ass locked up where she belongs. All right, men, you see this? Be careful out there. All right, okay. Everything that glitters ain't gold, and some of these women are lethal. All right, got it. And with that being said, thank you for attending another episode of the Working Man Podcast. I am your host, Nicholas J. Fury. Let me know what you think about this evil woman, wretched and deadly woman, down in the comment section. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell to be out of the door, and I will see you on the next video.